You rely on Snagit every day. Snagit 2019 makes it even easier to take separate Snagit images and
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk Bitcoin. Brandon here from Los Angeles, California. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule for being here. There's so many things that you could be doing with your time. We appreciate you here to learn about something new. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from, and make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I see we have Marty Bali Juarez from Victoria, Texas. Eldridge, good morning. Brad Gibson, Bethany Gibbs, Tracy Kubich, Lorna Vasquez, Clevie Stewart. Welcome, welcome. Those of you planning to go to Seattle, we need to know ASAP if you are planning to come from out of town. We need the numbers for the rooms. We're going to be booking the rooms at the Motif for discounts. So we need to know a number of block rooms, or a block of rooms. Tony Pinkston, welcome. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and then it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. There are 4 rules I live in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, crypto education is key. It is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself at 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? This is setting goals. What vehicle are you using to make that happen? Make a decision, take action, and stay focused. Do not get distracted. There's so many things out there in this space that can distract you. You have limited resources. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a most that we can ask for. Now, let me go ahead and get my Bluetooth set up, screen sharing going. And I'm going to show before we get started as well an error that I made. An error that I made that put me off by $5. I was almost there. So let's get a screen share. All right. So it should be all good to go. First and foremost, let's look at coin market cap. Market is at $130 billion. It lost a couple of billion. Bitcoin dominance is at 53.5%. Let's see, we're looking at things are in the red right now. What's up, Tether? Tether is going up. You want to know why? It's going up because people are now pulling their money out and they're putting it into Tether. So I missed by $5. Let me show you what do I mean. Well, I've been on a roll this week on my trading. Oh, am I going to have to relog back in? I think I'm good. And the last, as you see here, yeah, the price is coming down. The last price, $39.41. Look at the 24-hour high. It was $41.45. I bought at $40.20. I put a sell order in at $41.50 because I was looking at the market and I calculated that it was going to go up at least, that the height should have been about $41.50 is what I was looking at because I saw this wall here at $41.72. So I said, cool. I'm sorry, well, this has changed, but the other day it was about $41.80, something around there. So I did it $41.50. I was going big. I wanted to get about 6%, right? The doggone thing hits $41.45. $5 short. And it never went higher than that. And now it's all the way coming down. So if I were to sell right now, I'm selling at over almost $100 point loss if I were to sell right now, which means I only have 2 options. The first, well, 3 options. The first option is to go ahead and sell, take the loss, get back into the market, continue my trades, and make up for the loss. Because if I sell at this price, I'm going to lose. Let's see, let's look at this. We're down to here, and I'm going to lose like 6%, 7% if I sell right now. Or I sit on it and wait for it to come back up, which we don't know when that can be. If it happens a week, I just lost out on a whole week's worth of trading, which meant I could have taken the loss and made the money back, because sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But there's a new option I haven't tried yet. Not sitting here waiting for Bitcoin to come back up, but looking at the other coins. Like, for example, see how Ripple's in the negatives? Dash is in the negatives? Better yet, but Binance, I mean, Polonius is not using Bitcoin Cash. Ethereum's in the positive. Buying in on one of these when it's in the negative, and then let that shoot up 5-10%, and then sell, and I still make my profit. See, that's the option I'm going to choose, and I'm going to do that later because I need to look at the market and study it a little bit more. So you don't always win. What I am pleased about is that my calculations were very close. I was only off by $5 when I bought it at 40, 20. I'm like, great, I'll sell that sucker at 41.50, and it hadn't hit that high in a long time. I was thinking it can go up to 4,200. Had I done 4,100 even, I still would have made a big profit, and I'd still be back in the game right now. But I didn't. I lost, and that's what happens. Well, I hope you guys can see that. Let's look at right now the best performers. IOST, Linkey, Tron, Ontology, Bytem, Eternity, Cardano, Mobile Gold. So look at these great gains. So I could have jumped in on like a Tron or one of these other coins, Cardano, and still made up the difference. So it's a learning process, guys. But you're not going to learn until you actually jump in the water and do it. All right, so let's see article first up. Talk about Western Union. This is a company that if they're not careful, they're going to end up going the way of Blockbuster. You know, you guys have used Western Union before, and they've been around forever. And they've done a pretty good job of adapting over the decades. I mean, since the 1800s? And it looks like they're doing so now. Wealth managers, oops, wrong one. Western Union considers crypto partners with Ripple to test blockchain payments. Western Union is a survivor. The president of Western Union Global Money Transfer has claimed the company is ready to adopt any kind of currency. You see that? See that? Any kind of currency. They know money's changing. Money's changed since they've been in existence. Potentially including cryptocurrencies. In an interview with Reuters, December 17th, Adelon Almeida stated there is no big difference between cryptocurrencies and regular digital payments, the likes of which Western Union has been handling for years. So for them, this is an easy transfer. Almeida believes that the firm's long-term stance, you see that again, long-term, makes it potentially ready to launch any type of currency, including blockchain-based ones. We already operate with 130 currencies. If one day we feel like it is the right strategy to introduce cryptocurrencies to our platform, technology-wise, it's just one more currency. Now, that's a survivor's mentality. What if Blockbuster had that same mentality? Netflix is on the scene. Get out of here. People don't want to have their videos coming through the mail. What are you talking about? You're not going to be able to stream video. I mean, internet speed's too slow. People love the experience of getting off on work and driving to that big blue building on the corner, walking the aisles and getting their licorice and popcorn and picking out their favorite movie and getting there on time before the movies run out. It's the experience people love. That was Blockbuster's message. Remember the old commercials back then? Netflix comes on the scene. Nope, they weren't thinking long term. Western Union, though, hey, why not? Says, I think cryptocurrencies may become one more option of currency or asset around the globe to be exchanged between people and businesses. If that happens, we would be ready to launch. We would be ready to launch. However, Almeida thinks that in order to achieve mass adoption, cryptocurrencies have to solve problems with volatility, governance, and compliance. As per the Western Union exec, hinting at the concept behind some stable coins, the issue with volatility in crypto markets can be addressed by pegging coins to some strong currencies, such as the US dollar. Apart from cryptocurrencies, Western Union is also exploring the use of blockchain. According to a press release accompanying the video, the firm has already partnered with Ripple. Now, that's my only concern, but it's no surprise that they go with Ripple. IBM, JP Morgan, Chase, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they're all going with Ripple to test whether sending payments by blockchain was faster and less expensive, adding that the tests are ongoing. Western Union's official stance towards crypto has considerably changed within the last few months. In June of this year, the company's CEO, Hikmet Ersek, said that Western Union will not add a cryptocurrency transfer solution to its services anytime soon. That was last year or June. That can change. The consumers tell us what they want. People aren't paying their hospital bills in cryptos, he stated at the time. Not yet. Not yet, they're not. All right, next up. This is interesting here. This is why I always say, don't listen to what people say. Follow what they do. This is classic right here. This is one thing one of my mentors told me back in the day is that the wealthy never tell you exactly how they got where they are. They tell you a little bit. They don't give it all to you. And look at this. Wealth managers are buying Bitcoin and crypto, but won't advise clients to do the same. What do you, I'm hiring you to give me advice. You won't advise me to buy crypto, but you're going to do it? Huh. I don't believe in them being benevolent and saying, I'm just looking out for you. No. Prosh, CEO and founder of Caleb and Brown, one of Australia's largest retail cryptocurrency brokerage firms by trading volume and number of clients, says dozens of financial advisors are using his service to purchase hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cryptocurrency, while they offer no such advice to their clients. Isn't that interesting? In an interview with Mickey, Prosh says that over half of his clients are from abroad, primarily the United States. These are wealth managers who have their own personal cryptocurrency portfolios. They see value in it. They're getting themselves positioned to be rich again and not telling you to get in on it with them. According to the report, Prosh notes that the $70 trillion being held in funds for high net worth individuals makes today's crypto market cap of $124 billion look like coffee money. So all the money that's been made in crypto is peanuts compared to what's out there. What if crypto just got 2% of that? 70 trillion. What if they just got 2%? We're talking over $1 trillion market. What if they got just 5%? You think people are Bitcoin millionaires now? You ain't seen nothing yet. That means all of you by default, if you've been doing what you're supposed to be doing, by default, millionaires. Despite money on the sidelines, Prosh concurs that with many analysts who believe murky regulations and uncertainty are prohibiting financial advisors from telling their clients to load up on Bitcoin. Okay, now that I understand. Prohibiting their clients, but they're willing to take the risk. He says mainstream institutional investors are reluctant. At the moment, they're afraid. They're scared because there's no consistency in the messaging from the top down. Once we get some consistency, once crypto becomes a regulated financial instrument, which it isn't at the moment, we will see the financial incumbents being able to invest in it. In the long run, Prosh thinks the market will rebound. I think we'll see a few more cycles like this while the market cap is still small. We will continue to see that volatility. So I think the bounce back will be hard. What does he mean by that? What he's saying is the market cap to you guys, I mean, It's 130 billion. Do you realize the network marketing industry is playing around with 40 billion? All those network marketing companies, all of them, is playing in a $40 billion sandbox. Crypto is more than triple that. And it's still peanuts on the final stages, on the world stage. So when you have movement coming around with a small market cap like this, it has a lot of volatility to it. When it gets into the trillions, you're not going to see big jumps like this. It'll be more like this. And the day traders will still be making a fortune off of this. But right now, you guys, I mean, the average person can make a killing with it doing and what it's doing right now. $600 a day, $1,000 a day, depending on how much you're trading with. All right, I like this. Came back up a bit, 39.53. So yeah, I'm either going to take a little bit of loss and get back into the Bitcoin side, or I'm going to experiment and go ahead and try to trade with one of the other coins. That's what I'm going to do. I got to figure out which one's going to break out the most out of the top 10. Because, I mean, they shock you. Look at freaking Bitcoin Cash. Went up by 100% last week. It was at $80-something last week. Now it's at $185. So if you had $10,000, you just doubled the money in a week. Stellar, it could be any one of these. So I'll play around with that. So there are some investors who've been holding out, waiting out for a price point like this. Prosh, a former psychiatrist whose career took a dramatic turn when he made the transition to run a financial services brokerage. How do you go from being a psychiatrist to a financial services broker? Was awarded the Young Executive of the Year 2018 by the Indian Executive Club at Langham on November 17th. Earlier this year, his company was also awarded the FinTech Startup of 2018 at the inaugural Stockbrokers and Financial Advisors Association FinTech Awards in Melbourne, Australia. At the intersection between old school financial service industry and digital assets, Prosh says cryptocurrencies are a very effective hedge against financial risk that would come from an impending financial crisis or a drop in property prices. He says an impending one. He's correct. The world is over $20 trillion in debt. United States, $21 trillion in debt. December was the worst stock market performance since the Great Depression, meaning in all of our lives. We just went through the worst in our lifetime. All experts are saying that by 2020, the U.S. should be in a recession, that we're going to be hit harder than in 2008. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And here's why it's going to be good for crypto, because people are going to start running for crypto because it's going to be the safe haven. That's why you want to get on that surfboard before that wave comes, the crypto surfboard. As for the magic catalyst that will send the markets upward, he believes the upcoming launch of BAC, the new Bitcoin futures exchange from the New York Stock Exchange's parent company, is the type of traditional structure that financial investors can understand. While mainstream investors wait for BAC, exchanges such as Coinbase, Gemini, and Binance, along with investment firms such as Fidelity and Susquehanna International Group, continue to work with regulators worldwide to build more on-ramps for institutional investors who are looking for exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other top cryptos. And the last one, which one do I want to do? Binance or U.S. lawmakers? U.S. lawmakers. Hello, Brenda. U.S. lawmakers file bill to exclude cryptocurrencies from securities definition. That is good news. Very, very good news. Let's see. 2 U.S. congressmen have introduced a bill aimed at amending the country's securities laws to exclude cryptocurrencies from the definition of a security. The bipartisan bill also seeks to adjust taxation and create tax exemptions for certain cryptocurrency transactions. Oh, I love that. Tax exemptions. U.S. Reps Warren Davidson, Republican out of Ohio, and Darren Soto, Democrat from Florida, introduced a bipartisan bill on Thursday aimed at excluding cryptocurrencies from the definition of a security. The bill, called Token Taxonomy Act, seeks to amend the Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Act of 1934 to exclude digital tokens from the definition of a security, according to the text of the bill. It also directs the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to enact certain regulatory changes regarding digital units secured through public key cryptography. Moreover, it seeks to adjust taxation of virtual currencies held in individual retirement accounts to create a tax exemption for exchanges of one virtual currency for another. Hell yeah. To create a de minimis exemption from taxation for gains realized from the sale or exchange of virtual currency for other than cash and for other purposes. CNBC explained that the bill resulted primarily from a September roundtable hosted by Davidson. More than 50 industry participants attended, including Fidelity, NASDAQ, State Street, Andreessen Horowitz, and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the news outlet noted, adding that this bill has been in the works for months. Changing the law. This is why crypto education is so important, because we need to be in a position where we know when the law is changing. That's why I say I don't listen. Oh, I've been in Bitcoin for years. Are you still getting your education? No, I know everything I need to know. Really? Did you know that the law just changed? No. The bill introduced on Thursday defines digital tokens and clarifies why securities laws do not apply to cryptocurrencies. Currently, the SEC uses the Howey test to determine whether a cryptocurrency is a security. Good morning, Barbara. Talking to my aunt. Tell my aunt I say hello. I love her. Last month, U.S. District Judge Gonzalo P. Curiel ruled that the commission was not successful at showing the court that block vest tokens were securities based on the Howey test. The agency has been cracking down on numerous cryptocurrency projects this year. SEC Chairman Jay Clayton has emphasized that he does not intend to update the commission standards to include cryptocurrencies. At the Senate hearing earlier this year, he said that every ICO he had seen is a security. The only exceptions were BTC and ETH. He clarified, noting that the two cryptocurrencies are regulated as commodities by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Okay, it's like they're passing the buck around. So they are commodities, but they're not securities. This week's bill is largely symbolic, saying that Friday is likely the last day Congress is in session, and the bill will need to be reintroduced next year when Democrats are in control of the House. Democrats, you better not screw this thing up. Bring it back. Make it happen. All right. So all that green money could be tax-free? Yeah, well, I'm not going to say that. We'll see. I think they're looking more at those that's holding coins in the retirement type funds, because the current law, the way they see it is they're saying that just by holding it, you're going to have to pay taxes on holding it because the value goes up and down. And that's BS. I mean, that's a BS thing to do. We're going to tax you on buying it. We're going to tax you on trading it. We're going to tax you on holding it. We're going to tax you when you move it to your bank account. Get out of here with that. Going to have another Boston Tea Party. All right. What time is it? I have time for one more. Then I'm going to the gym. Binance CEO, 2018, a correction year for crypto. Remains confident about industry's future. Now, although I agree with that, since it's coming from the Binance CEO, anything that comes out of his mouth, I know is going to be skewed in crypto's favor. So keep that in mind. He is not going to say bad news about it, because then people aren't going to come on his exchange and do trading. Even though I like what he's saying, don't ever be biased on that aspect. Just because somebody's saying what you already believe and want to hear, still always be skeptical. I'm skeptical of everything I hear and see. Binance CEO, a 2018 correction was a correction year, but I do agree with that statement. In a recent interview with Bloomberg, Binance CEO Zhao stated that despite the ongoing bear market, he's confident about the future of cryptocurrencies. On December 19th, he gave an interview to Bloomberg Online and opined that digital currencies are here to stay. That is true. The monumental 2017 crypto bull run would be afresh in the minds of crypto proponents. You know what? When you pull back the microscope and you realize that these short bull runs we have always follow a correction, but that's also on a macro level. If you have 3 years of a flatline crypto market bouncing around between $400 and $700, and then all of a sudden 1 year, 2017, and it jumps to 20,000, the correction should be at least just as long, at least. So you have a correction that lasts a year. On a macro level, it makes sense. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to pull up, let's look at Bitcoin's history here. Well, what? Bitcoin went up back to 4,012? That can't be right. This saying 390, 39.22. What is CoinMarketCap doing? Anyways, so look at this. This is how you look at it from a macro standpoint, all the way from 2013. You see this little bump right here? Well, if you take away all of this and go back to this year, I can't squeeze it here. What did I just do? Oh, I did do something. Let me refresh. But that was a mountaintop in 2013. Just like how we see it right here. This mountaintop. Back in these days, that was a mountaintop. It went from $100 to over $1,000. That was huge. And then it corrected back down again. It stayed here. $200 it came back down to. And it stayed from 2014 all the way to 2016. And then we have another mountaintop. And then it corrects all of 2018 like this. And then guess what's going to happen? When it bounces hard again, it's going to be much higher. It's going to be way up here. And this is going to look like a flat line almost, this first mountaintop. And this mountaintop here is going to look like this. And there's going to be a bigger spike. This is a macro. You're looking at it from year to year to year. Most people's looking at the day-to-day price of Bitcoin and not figuring it out. You got to pull the scope back a bit, get perspective on things. See, this says Bitcoin price down to 39.05. Man, I just missed that by $5 freaking. And I almost thought about canceling it too. I said, nah, I'm gonna stick to it, Brandon. Stick to it. I let a little bit of greed there because I thought it was going to hit it. Anyways, let's go back to the article. All right. Let's see. During his interview, he admitted that Bitcoin's price fluctuation in 2017 was extreme, and the industry is now going through a steady correction phase. He remained positive about the future of the crypto industry, stating that cryptocurrency projects will continue to develop and drive towards mainstream adoption. He added that development of dApps on various blockchains could prove to be a critical factor for the rapid adoption of the DLT and digital currencies. CZ answered questions related to real-world use cases of blockchain technology, the scope for dApps in the future, and the recent blockchain conference hosted by Binance in Singapore. Talking about the fluctuations in the price of cryptocurrencies, CZ opined that it is mostly the speculators and short-term traders who are more concerned with crypto prices, and that the industry is going to grow by the builders, by the guys who actually build applications. Zhao stated that the pessimistic market sentiment has had no impact on Binance's plans and long-term strategies. It's because these big guys are not fazed by this. He mentioned that Binance is determined towards the launch of the much anticipated decentralized crypto exchange DEX, and Binance is also slated to launch its fiat to crypto exchange in Singapore this year, where customers can directly trade cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether against the Singapore dollar. That's big. That's big over there. When asked about the importance of regulations in the nascent industry, CZ agreed that government regulations are the need of the hour due to the uncertainty plaguing the industry. However, they should not stifle the growth of the ecosystem, he said. We want clarity, and we also want good, sensible regulations. We want regulations that promote innovation and not things that just totally hamper innovation. I like that. From the Binance CEO. In other news, and I'm not going to cover just so you can see some headlines, U.S. sanctions have led to rise in Bitcoin mining in Iran. In India, police seized 452 Bitcoins worth $1.8 million from a crypto Ponzi scheme. Bitcoin, Ether, and Ripple weekly market update. Canadians denied at U.S. border for purchasing marijuana shows perfect use case for Bitcoin. So you can go to, this is a BTC Manager, to see some of those other headlines. And that is it for today. We have a corporate update call taking place today with KGX. Has that email gone out? Let me see. But it's going to be at, oh yeah, it did go out. 3 p.m. Eastern today. And you have to be a member of KGX to be able to get that email. Click on the Zoom link. So 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, major update call for KGX. And then after that update call, you're going to see a lot of things taking place very quickly. Especially you're going to start seeing a shift in my tone, getting ready for 2019. And I'm focusing on going back to building and selling our product. And we want to put 1 million people into the KGX community worldwide. That's the push. 1 million sales of our KGX product. Who's going to help make that happen? 1 million sales. 1 million people need to learn about crypto worldwide. Seattle Boot Camp. If you're planning on going to Seattle, we need to know so that we can get the block of rooms. In fact, within the next hour or so, we need to know this. And, you know, Bethany, I might just give a round out number of 50, and then we can drop it down from there. Maybe 25 to 50. But I'd like to know a good number. So if you do plan on coming, I know we had a lot of people that came to the Chicago event, and more people probably want to come to the Seattle. But we also have a list of cities too. After Seattle, we'd have Atlanta, and then the following week, Tampa. And then in March, we have Chicago and Philadelphia. Those cities, all are Bitcoin boot camps. Some of you may go to all of them. Some of you may only go to one or two that's closest to you where you live. We just need to know. So everybody have a great day. See you in a couple hours. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.